All right, Dominic Smith there. And take a look at the last 3 years, and you see in 2020, actually 2019 and 2020 for the Mets in a part-time role, tantalizing. He slugged a combined .571, nearly 400 plate appearances in those 2 years. Since then, it has really diminished his offensive output. Xavier Scruggs has a little more now. Something is there, Xavier, right? Tell us what you see.
We know it's there because we've seen it in 2020, and I think that's the last time we got to see him do it on an everyday basis. And I think that's one of the biggest things is getting back to playing every single day at first base. He's a first baseman, and when you feel comfortable playing that position, then you can just get back to swinging the stick like he did in 2020. This is one thing we saw a lot of. He has some reverse splits. He hits lefties well. That's one thing that I think is going to continue to heighten with him playing every single day. Being able to see lefties is important when you're facing lefties and righties. He only really got to face righties when he was with the Mets the last couple of years. So you see how he's able to spray the ball all over the field. He's not afraid to go oppo, lets the ball get deep. I think that's an important thing to do and to understand as a hitter, being able to use the whole field. Now, the one thing he did to get himself in a little bit of trouble is facing righties, he would roll over a little bit. That's where the shift comes in play, and I think this is where he can get a little more excited because there is no more shift. You will not see three guys on one side of the base at second base. So I think he has an opportunity to raise the batting average. You see a little bit more of the power start to come into play. That was one of the issues, was the shift. A lot of hits were taken away up the middle as well. This is one thing I need to highlight, the athletic ability at first base. We lose sight of the fact of him not playing that much first base, how athletic he really is. And I think that is one thing that will be showing up while he's with the Nationals in a big way. Now, another thing, too, I want to show you guys the spray chart. This is one thing, when you see the middle of the field, that's what he used a lot. You see how many singles right up the middle. They're right stacked up on top of each other. Now with the shift no longer in play, he has an opportunity to use the middle of the field a little bit more. I think that's going to be big. And then I want to be able to show you here the splits. When you talk about reverse splits and being able to hit lefties well, we saw this average in 2021. The most games he played recently, 145. We saw more of it at better average, better on base, and a better slugging percentage against lefties. So lefties don't give him an issue. And I think that with him playing every single day at first base and really getting a true opportunity, we're going to see a better Dom Smith. And I think we see more of the power come into play, too.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. I'm glad to see all the things that you threw out there. And, Dan, for me, I'm looking at it's not just 2020 in that weird short season. He also slugged .525 in 2019. So, like, he had those 2 years of success. So there's something there. He's going to be 28. What do you see?
He's also number 1 pick. I mean, I've got a man crush on this guy since his draft day in 2013 out of a high school in Compton, California. X said it perfectly. BK is a rhythm hitter. He doesn't rely on strength. He relies on his movement patterns and his hands and his field to hit. That's a hard hitter not to play every day.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a perfect opportunity for him. And an incredibly smart signing on Mike's part for this reason. When you're going through a transition, you're trying to hit on guys that you liked in the past that maybe have been underperformers, but given their age and their past history of some success, if you hit on them, then all of a sudden you now have a core piece that maybe you think you didn't have as you go through this transition. He fits all of that criteria perfectly.
And he'll play every day here, right? I mean, with Washington.
Absolutely, especially if he plays to his ability. And I want to say one thing, too. The fact that he should be a leader in this clubhouse.
He is a marvelous guy. He's a tremendous human being.
Everybody loves him in the clubhouse, and obviously that doesn't show up in the stats, but I think that helps his comfort being able to be himself in a locker room and be able to show these guys the right way to go about it.
In a win or two where you saw all this money spent, we sometimes overlook smart, strategic signings. I think this falls into that category. I do believe at his age, he's got a chance to turn into a core first baseman that they move forward with as they transition all of the other young players, because he's a good player and he's an unbelievable role model.
Between the two of you guys now, if he doesn't have a great season, I'll be so stunned. You've so sold me.
He might not have a great season.
No, but to be able to play. Look, again, there's 2 years of success. That's not flukish. You've got to be able to earn that.
Well,
so it is
he also, remember,
right.
He had some comments last year to where he was unhappy. You could tell that there was situations in which, whether it was him almost being traded or whatever it may be, he wanted to play every day, and that's now the opportunity he'll get.